So today we're going to build our very first back to Eden garden. It's going to be a mix between back to Eden and a market garden style. It's going to have 30-inch rows, then 18-inch like walkways. And what we have here is, I've got it measured out already. You can see this string going down to the other pole. Then there is a string right here from this pole to the pole down there. And lengthwise, it is 61.5 feet. That gives us 15 rows with 18-inch walkways. And then going the shorter way, the width I guess, is 23 feet. That gives us 20-foot rows with 18 inches of walk path on the front and back. So that's 15 20-foot rows. So the very first thing we're going to do to start our garden is use a broadfork. This is more of the market style garden deal. J.M. Fortier talks a lot about it in his market garden book. What this does, it replaces tilling pretty much. Instead of tilling and churning up the soil and taking the bottom layer and putting it on top and all it mixed in between, all this does is you shove it down and pull it back, and it kind of lifts up some, and it aerates the soil and loosens it up some without actually churning it all over. I just bought this. This is our first tool we've ever bought for our garden. It's a meadow creature, the People's broadfork. It's a good all-around starter broadfork. They recommend it for everything. If you want to go bigger, you need softer soil. That way you can go deeper and lift it up and everything. But for us, I think the People's broadfork is going to be the best. I've never used it. This will be my very first time. So let's see what happens. I've got it in the ground a little bit. I'm going to step on it. Okay. I'm just going to go back with it. And it's actually lifting up the ground pretty good. You don't want to go all the way so that the ground comes up and like out. You just want to lift it up so it kind of bulges and goes back down. So I think that worked pretty well. Then you want to go like another space back, like a broadfork. I get broadfork about a foot. It's a 12-inch tine, so you know, go about 12 inches back or so. Put it in the ground, step on it and work it down. Pretty good workout too, so especially to a whole garden area. All right, now it's down on the ground. We're gonna pull it back. And I can see it breaking the ground up some. I've got to do the whole garden space. There we go. Wiggle it a little bit. Pull back. There we go, guys. I just broad forked for 4 hours and it was rough. Like I thought I was gonna die. But if you have a gym membership, just buy you one of these and cancel your gym membership, because that's the best workout you can probably get, and you're actually accomplishing something. It took forever, but it's done now. It did great. The only thing I would recommend is, or what I'm gonna do on these handles, it's just slick metal. If you have sweaty hands from doing it, it's not fun. I'm gonna take some wind grips like you can put on fishing rod handles and go down the grips here, and that gives it some cushion plus some grip to it. So that's the only thing I'm going to change on the broad fork. But we shouldn't have to use it much, just when we're starting new gardens. And before we broad forked, yesterday I mowed. So all the garden's been mowed. Then we broad forked, and then now Beverly has been putting down newspaper. We've got to put down, for the back to Eden method, you start with newspaper, then you put your grass clippings on top of that. So that's what we're going to start doing now. Both of us are going to work on that. So we've got probably a quarter of the garden done with the newspapers, and that's as much grass clippings as we had. So we've got to do more of that. Beverly's up there raking right now from where I mowed yesterday. The next step, we're going to do a little bit at a time. The next step is we're going to make an edge like a walk path, 18 inches right here. We're going to put the big wood chips on those. Then we're going to do a 30-inch bed for the actual garden bed with the fine wood chip, the compost and fine wood chips. So we're going to start on that now. This is our very first completed bed of the back to Eden style gardening. And it's been a lot of work today. Mainly the broad forking, because I did the whole garden. And then probably the hardest part of this is the bigger wood chips, because we've got fine ones in there with the compost and big ones for our walkways. And they're a pain to shovel out. Plus we've got 6 inches of it. The compost is about 2 to 3 inches, and then the fine wood chips are about 3 inches. So I think the coarse wood chips is what we're going to run out of first. We've got a long way to go still in this garden. We got, I guess, 14 more rows to go if we're going to do the whole thing. We need to do some calculating on what plants we plan on growing and see if we need this big of a garden or not.
I'm thinking we won't.
Okay. I hope we won't.
I think what we've talked about is how many plants can be so close together. Like the climbing plants, other things can be planted next to them. I don't think we'll need one this big.
Okay. I hope not. We're going to do that before we start. I guess we'll probably do it tonight or tomorrow. But we'll definitely build some more rows.
Everybody wants to know about Brandon's hat.
My hat is a Kavu hat.
It's classy. It keeps the sun off of you.
Keeps the sun off of me. And it's all mesh in here, so the wind kind of blows around and cools my head off. And it's got like a band around it, and it keeps the sweat out of my eyes. So it's pretty much the perfect hat. And it looks perfect too.
And yeah, it's totally stylish.
It's kind of off of old Vietnam lifestyle people's hats. But I like it. I don't care what people think.
You asked earlier if we felt like farmers, and there's no way a farmer would wear that hat.
Probably not.
We're gardeners. We're not farmers. Not yet.
Okay.
You get a cowboy hat, we'll be farmers.
Okay. I think I'll stick to this hat.
I like it.
This hat and our rubber boots. Thanks for watching. I know it was a long day of working for us, but probably felt short on all the time-lapse stuff we did. But thanks for watching, and check back next time and see how our garden grows.